Brothers and sisters and friends, this afternoon we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, you're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God, trying to wake up on this Monday.
Wake
March
up.
31st.
Man, already.
March 31st. Yep. We all know, day before the primaries, last day of the month. Tomorrow is voting and rent.
Exciting.
Yep. Welcome to the show. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor and share the show. I see some people on YouTube coming in already. Leah Keystone, happy, marvelous Monday to all.
Hello.
Pop says, good Monday morning, First Sky and Mad Love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, First Sky fam. Okay. Michelle Moreno, good morning, everyone. Judy Prinzer, last day of March. Let's go.
Okay, excited. 25% way through the year already.
Yep. Guys are fired up. Hopefully you're fired up about the primaries tomorrow, which is kind of the main subject. We'll definitely be talking about it. We got one last conversation to be able to be had before the primary choices are made tomorrow.
Man.
Hopefully you guys are all registered and going. And if you went voted early, I'd love to hear about that too.
Yeah.
Choices.
My thoughts as well. Did you vote already?
Yeah. Yep. Good question. Black Dynamite in the chat says, good morning, y'all. Mark Manor says, tomorrow's April Fool's. Good morning.
Yeah. That's been my slogan. Don't be a fool.
Don't be an April Fool. Sue Kessler Hagen giving us a good morning. Good morning to you as well. And how you doing today, buddy? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm all right. Had a pretty cool weekend. I think it's a good way to put it. Did some things, met some people.
Always a good thing.
Yeah. But more importantly, just kind of chilled out, man. Paced myself, felt good. Got some sunshine, got some fresher air. Been dealing with this pollen out here, man. This pollen.
Welcome to my life,
man. Oh, it's a little. It was hazy out here. Like it was a yellow haze.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, very high. I believe it was a record high pollen count. 14,800 and something pollen count.
I might be hospitalized if I was out there.
You actually, it's like, it's caked on cars and everything. I might have to post a picture how bad. Yeah, it's a yellow film on everything. I'll post a picture. It's pollen.
Everybody got their something. Speaking of which, I want to give a special shout out to the people in Myanmar who got that 7.7 earthquake, man. So many people died. Yeah, coming from California, I hear 7.7. I'm like, that's real. And it was very real. People died, buildings fell all the way to Thailand.
Yeah.
It's big tragedy. So I don't know if anybody has any people there, but just think about what you go with. Every place has their something.
Yeah.
Obviously caked on pollen out there in Georgia. We talk about tornadoes in Omaha. We talk about earthquakes in California. Really always comes down to like, are you ready? You prepared? You and your family got a plan for when things go down? It's a trip. We'll talk about that, and I'm sure that we'll talk about a lot more. We have people in our chat that are all around the world with the news, so we always are getting some conversation in on that. But today really is kind of day before primaries. Everybody's kind of talking about it. Mark Manor in the chat, he says, I'm never torn on elections. I'll always have my mind made up. That's what's up. He says, my heart says to vote Jasmine Harris, and logically I wonder if Ewing does not make sense.
Okay.
So this is what we're going to get into today a little bit. We want to hear from you today. Really want to hear from you today. We want to talk about if you made up your mind. Have you been able to check out some of the things that we've been working on, like the candidate get to know the candidate videos on YouTube? Shout out to everybody who's been checking it out and giving us some feedback on it, and also liking over there and subscribing. As I see the subscriptions are building up a little bit over there, which we really need on YouTube. So shout out to everybody who is checking that out. Shout out to Flatwater Free Press and and Civic Nebraska and everybody else who's involved in helping some of this stuff get out there. But people have been telling me that these interviews that we've been doing are the only ones that are kind of really deep diving and really understanding what some of the candidates are trying to do, and hearing it from them without debating or without going through it with everybody else, and just really trying to understand what they're about and why they're running and what's going on, in the style that we do. We come up with these questions and in the style that we have conversations. So shout out to everybody that gave us the feedback on that, and let me know if you've been able to check those out and understand what you need to understand about these people. So yeah, man, we'll definitely be talking about this, man. We'll get into it. We appreciate everybody that's joining us today. It's kind of the topic of the conversation today is what are the decisions? Have you come to your conclusions? Do you need to talk it out a little bit more before tomorrow? Some people have not made their decision yet and are still on the fence. There's a lot going on, especially in District 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be huge. So shout out to all the candidates that came through. We'll talk a little bit about the journey of reaching out to these candidates and having the conversation with them. I really want to talk about that a little bit. Who I got to talk to, who I didn't get to talk to, so on and so forth. So appreciate that. We'll move on from there and come back to it in just a hot minute when we jump into the community news. But Pops in the chat is saying that pollen thing happens in Texas too. I couldn't believe that film of thick yellow stuff all over my car.
Man,
that's wild.
Yeah, knowing you, Paul, yeah, you really would be in the hospital. Like it's hard to go outside without.
It'd be a new Stanley Kubrick film, Eyes Swole Shut.
Man, yeah.
Mark Manor says, and then if we have Stothard versus McShamrock, I'll have to vote Stothard because no way am I voting for Dude. Right. So getting back to it, the primaries of tomorrow, which is kind of determining who's going to run against the incumbents, of course. That's going to be, so there's, we're not out of the woods yet after the primaries, but primaries are going to be very important because we want to make sure that we got the right people in there are going to run against the incumbent. Incumbents haven't really been calling me back too quickly.
Oh yeah, they don't seem too worried about the primaries,
which is interesting. So they're not too worried about it. I'm gonna interview a lot of them after the primaries. We've scheduled some of those. So yeah, we'll definitely see. Black Dynamite in the chat. Good morning. Says, man, I was driving down 30th Saturdays and thought it's sad to see the whitewashed projects.
Man,
that's interesting. Yeah. Big changes in North Omaha. What's going to happen? What do people? What's important for North Omaha anymore? Like this has been a running theme for me ever since we started this, because we started with a geographic area in mind, North Omaha, and then in the process of us, and of course, North Omaha traditionally has been where Black folks are. So majority of the Black community was based in North Omaha, but that's not the case anymore. So we journeyed into this area where we said, oh, I see the Black community is kind of spread out all through Omaha. So it's kind of more so the Black community, or the community of like-minded people that are all over the place, and not just in geographic area. But then, we have Chad Chalmers like Kimmer Snipes that come on and say it's about the neighborhoods. It is about the geographic area. And then I've moved into this idea that even if there is more other folks in North Omaha than Black folks in North Omaha, 24th and Lake is still the most important Black corner in Omaha. The Deuce is still important, whether it be a business district, historical district, and not just the Deuce. What's going on 30th Street is very important as well. What's going on with the airport park down towards the airport? There's so much that's still happening geographically in that area. We still have to represent. We still got to kind of talk about it. So it's interesting. And then, of course, with these races, we're talking about District 2, which is a specific geographic area. And what does that mean? What does that mean? We learn more, we talk more, and we try to figure these things out. So that's kind of where we're at, buddy. How you got your wheels turning over there? What you feeling like?
Yeah, well, I'm a couple of things. One, I'm looking at the clock, making sure we keep this thing going. We all. Two, I'm looking at the comments. Appreciate the feedback and the love. Pops is saying, yes, I love the candidate reviews. I have seen, they are excellent. Mama God also saying the videos are excellent. Please share information. Folks want to hear them. They help hear more than 30-second answers. So we definitely went in and hopefully they were pretty informative. So for those of you who have seen it, let us know how you're feeling. Also, before we get too deep into things, speaking of how you feeling, like how you feeling, Paul? How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing all right. Just steady working, kind of getting into a rhythm for work, even throughout the weekend, and lots. This is a tough time because of the jobs that we're taking on in order to be, and try to make a difference, do these videos and so on and so forth. Wouldn't say tough, just a lot of work, and that's a good thing. But I'm feeling fairly positive about what's happening. I'm very encouraged by everybody who's jumping in and going through these things. I saw some shows yesterday. Sherman Wells, shout out to Sherman Wells.
Big
Shout out
Sherm.
yeah, man. Shout out to some other brothers that are really kind of talking about this. Like everybody who's got a little podcast and a video channel is jumping in and trying to break down the candidates. And I see a lot of participation, so I'm feeling pretty good about that for real.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hopefully, again, it's all to inform you, the public, the people out there, ultimately making a decision, and equipping you with as much information as possible. I know Paul and you and I were talking beforehand, and it is hard to make a decision, especially with so many guests, so many candidates is the word I was thinking of. So many ideas, so many solutions and ideologies and perspectives. It's kind of interesting to weave through it. So hopefully, again, we're able to assist in making a clear decision, because one thing that is clear is there is an opportunity to make some real change, or to at least get some people in place that won't get in the way. I'll say that.
That's a good thing to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what today is about. Of course, tomorrow's April 1st. Vote city primary elections. Primaries are very important. We definitely want to talk about that a little bit more today and hear your decisions if you come to it, or maybe have some discussion if you still have some things that you want to discuss. And we'll definitely get into it. And that's really kind of what we're going to talk about today. That's really the biggest thing in the community happening as far as what's coming up this week is concerned. Of course, there's other things happening in the community, and we rely on you and everybody who jumps into Friends of First Sky Omaha to tell us about that as well. So shout out to everybody that's done that. Really appreciate it. With that though, what else are we going to talk about today, buddy? What else is on your mind that we need to get into?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I do want to two things. I want to give a shout out, and then I want to kind of go, as I mentioned, how I wanted to address this conversation. So I'll get into that. But first, I do want to make a shout out. Big shout out to IB Black Girl. They did announce the Black Fund. If you remember, about a month or so ago, we were promoting the Black Fund, and we even had some folks come on and talk about it. And yeah, they finally made a decision on the grantees. So again, big shout out to IB Black Girl. Again, the Black Fund was a fund that they were able to re-grant. So not only, again, this is a nonprofit who got some money and was able to use that money to spread it out to other entities at the tune of $1 million, man. So big shout out to IB Black Girl and all of the recipients that won. You can check it out on Friends of, or you can visit IB Black Girl's pages for more information. And if you're just unfamiliar with what kind of work they're doing, definitely check them out, man. They helping families all the way around, from housing to health to you name it, man. So check them out.
$1 million.
$1 million. Yeah, man. Big shout out. Yeah, they getting down, man. They get down. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that before we get into today's topics. And on that note, do want to acknowledge a chimer chiming in, Sister Heather Williams, saying is First Guy endorsing anyone? And no, Paul and I have had a conversation, and we maybe after the primaries we might make some discussion about, I don't know, at some point, but we're aware of influence. And our goal is to inform you as much so you can make your own decision. I will say that what I want to do today is we have a set of questions, as you know, that we asked every candidate as far as what we have identified, through big help to you all. So thank you for those who reached out, kind of share your thoughts on what you feel the issues were or what your questions were. And I wanted to, just kind of highlight who I felt some of the candidates were some of the best ideas that jumped out to me as far as some of the issues, and take it from that approach, take it issue by issue. So again, if anyone in the chat wants to, feel free to, share who they might be voting for and make their endorsements, feel free. But again, Paul and I have decided not to. And hopefully you can respect that decision.
Yeah, definitely want to speak up on that real quick, because we've been doing so much work to try to present these candidates to you for you to be able to make your own decision. The biggest thing for me is the influence part. There's a lot of folks that are on here that are coming up and endorsing. As a matter of fact, shout out to Sherman Wells. Sherman Wells had a show last night where he went through the candidates, talked about what was going on, and the whole show was based on who he wanted to represent District 2, his first, second, and third choice. And it was very influential. What he was saying, he was really able to really persuade some folks and persuade me to get my thought processes going about who it was that he wanted to endorse. But during the show, Brother Luis chimed in and started talking about Brother Maurice Jones, and Sherman Wells kind of went off like, "We know that you work for the campaign. This is not for you to just come on here and endorse the campaign that you're getting paid to endorse. That's not what this discussion is about." And it kind of reinforced for me what it is that we're doing here as well. Like, this is not like, because of the fact that we are in this situation, in this business, and in this way that we're trying to break down what's going on and present it to you so you can make your decision. An endorsement from us, it's a tough thing to balance. It's a tough thing to figure out. A lot of work that we did with some of the races, like with Senator Ashley Spivey. We just happened to wanted her to be in there, but it also was a very it was the thing I had to think about afterwards. The fact that we're doing work for her, but also we was personally endorsing her as well, and that was kind of I'm sure tainted some of the information that we were trying to get out there in order for you to make the decisions you wanted to make. Senator Spivey was kind of obvious to us and everybody in our audience, but the point is that it's something that we had to think about. So I appreciate you guys asking about that, and I know, trust me, I'm getting hit left and right in text all night, and trying to find out who we voting for and all that. But because we're in this situation of doing this kind of work right here and presenting it to everyone, we want you guys to. The whole thing is for you to make the decisions that you're trying to make. So just wanted to add to that, and I appreciate everybody who's wondering and reaching out. And I know you guys watch us long enough. You probably already know. You probably can already predict what we're gonna do. But the biggest part is we're here doing this particular work. This is all we're doing, presenting it to you so you can make your own decisions. And I just want to add to that real quick.
Yeah, man. I mean, how often, again, going back to the conversation we had about thinking your own thoughts, how often are you able to do that? We got so many advertising and just so much messaging coming at us.
Right.
It's kind of hard. So I feel like our approach to this has been the best approach that we could take, as far as again, hey man, we got what, 10 videos up. Particularly, we have, and for those of you in District 7, we have most of District 2. The incumbent, Sister Juanita Johnson, we had some scheduling struggles with her, and then Brother Tyrone Uri. I think we might still be working on him.
Yeah, we're going to try to get him today. So that's also what I want to talk about too, is the journey with the folks that we're going through. We can go through that when we get to it. Yeah, but this is going to be very telling as well. So that's the other thing, because we've been personally interacting with these folks and shooting videos and talking to folks. Buddy wants to express some ideas, good ideas. Me too. There's a lot of similarities, especially in District 2. People have some of the same ideas that I think are good. There's a lot to talk about here besides whether or not who we personally are going to endorse. So we'll definitely jump into that, and but we'll do that right after a break. We're kind of running a little behind on the schedule here. 7:18 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. And it's my bad. I'm always running past the break.
You good, man?
No concept of time, bro. For real. I'm looking at your face to be like, oh, where are we in the show? Okay.
Yeah. It's just,
Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
My name
is Paul B. He's Buddy the Guy.
Hey, Paul B.
It's Primary Eve. Stay tuned, y'all.
Hello, Omaha and Lincoln voters. This is Precious McKesson with the Nebraska Democratic Party. The mayoral and city council elections in Omaha will take place on April 1st, and municipal races in Lincoln will take place on April 8th. Early ballots will be mailed in Omaha on March 17th, as well as in-person voting will begin. Early ballots in Lincoln will be mailed on March 24th, and in-person voting will begin March 24th. Remember to sign and return mail-in ballots before April 1st for Omaha and April 8th for Lincoln. Visit nebraskademocrats.org for more information on candidates and voting procedures. Paid for by the Nebraska Democratic Party, who is responsible for the content of this advertising. www.nebraskademocrats.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee. We hope to see you all at the polls, and remember, when we vote, we
7:20
Hey,
for Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
Shout out Precious McKesson. And you know, always with that message. If your vote didn't count, they wouldn't try so hard to suppress it.
Man,
That's
makes
what it
sense.
is.
Makes sense.
We're in this last days. Of course, tomorrow is April 1st, the primary day. Today is March 31st, which means it's the last day of early voting at the election office. Anybody going to the election office today to put their ballot in anticipation of not going tomorrow morning? Because sometimes that's how that has to work. We know that a lot of people have Mondays off, especially in our community. Because I can't never get no black food on Mondays. I don't
Man,
know what's
what's
going
up with that?
or a haircut. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So yeah, so this might be the day you might take your early ballot down and all that kind of thing. And if not, then of course tomorrow is the primaries. I know a lot of the chat chimers love to go down to the battleground on voting day.
On the day, get their sticker.
On the day to get their sticker. Hey, earlier in the chat I saw Peyton Zyla give us a good morning.
Hey,
I want to shout out Peyton Zyla because of the fact that first of all, we have 9 candidates in District 2 that are running. It's a lot of candidates. There's a lot of candidates.
man.
And one of the questions was, you know, why are you running? What did you see that made you decide to run and not really like back and endorse other people? Peyton Zyla was the only one that started to run, backed out of the race, and decided to help somebody else that was in the race in order to consolidate that. Because what's happening is big vote split is happening tomorrow, man, in a big
Man,
way. In a big way. So you know, you like a candidate, well, you don't just got to worry about, you know, another candidate taking the vote. You got to worry about 7 other candidates taking the vote because of because of what's how this is right now. So shout out to Peyton Zyla for you know, seeing his path, your path in to be able to say, let me drop out and endorse somebody else and get behind that person and double our efforts. Because you know, we're in a really weird situation here. So that's what's up. Also, Black Dynamite in the chat says, "Who was that Brewer fella running? I didn't know anything about him until a few days ago." Yeah, Terry. Yeah, Tyrone Brewer. I'm sorry, Tyrone Uri. Is that what you're talking about?
no, he's talking about Dr. Terry Brewer, who I was going
Dr. Terry
yeah,
Brewer.
yeah,
Right.
and I was going to acknowledge that comment. So I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah.
So we just did city council. Somebody else did the mayoral videos. We'll have to find those and we can share those on Friends of. So again, for those you know who are looking, yes, I believe you're talking about Dr. Terry Brewer. I'm not too familiar. I don't know much about him, but I do know he is running for mayor. But we were again able and you know tasked with doing the city council people. So again,
Yeah, and as far as that mayor's race is concerned, he's been on all the debates, so he's been around. You know, for us, it was Brother John Ewing and of course Jasmine Harris, and then Brother Dr. Brewer were the ones that we were kind of really paying attention to, while Mayor Stothard and the other dude would go back and forth all the time. So yeah, he's been there, but yeah, he hasn't been as out as everybody else in our community has, as far as we're concerned. And we will be doing some interviews with some of the mayor, with the person who is going to be running after the primaries, and also and we'll be talking about that as we go along. But yeah, we were concentrating more on the districts and those city council members what we have listed here. So if you check it out, you can see there's a lot. You know, every district has a couple, of course. I think one district has maybe 4. Yeah, District 4 has 4 people running. Look at District 2, man. District 2, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people, and we were kind of tasked with getting to know these people. They knew that we would have more access to the people running in District 2, and we really did. And pretty much got everybody. You guys know me well enough to know if I'm reaching out trying to interview somebody, I'm gonna hit you 2 or 3 times, and then if you don't hit me back, then might not happen because I don't be, like we're all professionals here. I'll put it out there, and if you got time, you got time. If you don't, I'm not gonna be running you down. So
I mean, saying it the nice way.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to be. I'm not trying to be like that. Is the nice way. I feel like we all have in this age of communication. If you're running for something and you got your email set up in order to receive emails to talk to folks, then great. If not, great. If you're an incumbent and you don't want to, and you don't got time right now, that okay. You know what I'm saying? I will say this: out of the 9 city council members that are running for District 2, I did not get to speak to Juanita Johnson yet. We've had some communication issues, but we've also had some talks about scheduling, and she's been very busy. And so it has been, the latest correspondence that we had to do with her giving me some later hours in the day where we can kind of get together. But it has been, I hit her with an email, and a couple of days later I might get something back. But that's kind of the way it is with all the incumbents. They ain't too worried about the primaries. It wasn't urgent to them to get an interview in before the primaries because they're already in there. So
yeah.
We have the generals coming up as well. So I do think that we're going to end up talking to Councilwoman Juanita Johnson in between the primaries and the generals for sure.
If she makes it through, we'll see.
Makes it through. Also, I got to say, Brother Tyrone Uri was a person who I reached out to a few times. Didn't really hear anything back. And then he sought us out. He hit us up last Thursday or Friday. What was it? And said, "Hey, I see that you guys got interviews with everybody except me. So what's happening?" I said, "Hey, let's try to schedule that." I did try to reach out to you a few times, but something was going on with this. Everybody is trying to run their own campaigns. A lot of people don't have staff. A lot of people are not really, able to check every email and so on and so forth. So the only contact that I had for him was an official email, and I sent several to try to get a hold of him, and he didn't see those. So when he hit us up, it was a matter of us trying to get in there. We're still going to do that. So I wanted to especially bring that out because you got to see all the other candidates that are running for District 2, except for Brother Uri, and we want to give him some time too. I'm actually going to go out and try to shoot him today, so you can watch that tonight, and hopefully inform some of that decision that you're going to make tomorrow as well. But I just want to give him a special shout out because we didn't get to talk to him.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And he is running, and anybody else who we haven't been able to get up, it's not on purpose. It's not on purpose. But yeah, again, appreciate the feedback on that. And without further ado, man, you want to jump into the issues? How you feeling?
Yeah.
What you think?
Yeah, let's jump in, man. What you got for us this morning? Oh, first of all, let me look at the chat real quick. Sorry, Amy H. Says respect. Appreciate that. RG in the chat. Right on. Mark Manor says I love voting in person. He always like to go on the battleground days. I heard that. Kimmer Snipes says good morning. Appreciate you. Tony Johnson says thought him not living in district was reason for dropping out. Who? Oh no. Oh, you talking about Peyton Zyla? Yeah, I'm not. That's a good question. Not really sure why he did. I just know that he did, and that he decided to go back somebody else, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Brother Kasim in the chat. Good morning, fellas. Lots of people. Lex Joanne Jonah is in the chat too. I appreciate you. Appreciate you coming in. Appreciate all the stuff you posted in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. Yeah.
How you doing?
RG said District 2 got a lineup for real. Ewing for mayor. Lex Jonay says I appreciate you. T Ren is in the chat. Said if not going in combative and opposing everything exploitative, then going in with compromise and capitulation in mind, leading to the same complaints of being not do nothing shoe-ins with opposition. Yeah. That's a mouthful breakdown. Appreciate that. Also T Ren says there's no excuse for not interacting with the public from jump. Very true. McKimmer says at all. T Ren. That's yeah. I agree with that. I definitely agree. I feel like everybody has access to this public media. Everybody has access to to social media platforms, websites. Everything. That's a given these days for anything that's happening. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, I don't know. Well, I think Obama was really kind of the first person that really went in on a social media campaign and kind of showed everybody that's where it's at. Better get down with that.
Man.
Also, one last comment. Malik Rogers says, "Love the fact that you did the videos. Any state why they do not participate in conversation in Facebook groups or on social media posts?" No, I'm really sure.
Well, yeah, I actually want to start with that because that was a question. It kind of took me a little while to understand what Brother Malik Rogers was saying, but basically asking why the candidates, don't participate in conversation. Actually, some of them do. Some of them do. Like Sister Cheryl Weston, she's a friend of First Guy. Actually, several candidates have their own platform. Conversations with Cheryl Weston. She's definitely very active on social media. So it's Brother Bill King. You watch the show. You check him out. You can check him out on YouTube every day. So, there are definitely a lot of candidates that are very vocal. But again, as I mentioned, I didn't want to kind of jump into the issues and highlight who kind of had not necessarily talked to a specific candidate, but who I feel had the best ideas or some of the best ideas per issue. And public engagement was one of the things we asked about. We did ask about public engagement in the regards of just access to the public and the public being able to speak, if they were a candidate, council member. And I will say that Anthony Rogers Wright kind of surprised me with the newsletter idea. I love that idea. Again, we have our weekly wrap. And I love what Senator McKinney is doing, giving constant updates about the bills that he's pushing. So if we were to see, a newsletter from our candidate, city council representative, that I love that idea. Also, several candidates mentioned town hall. So whoever gets in office, I think we should all expect some town halls. I think we should push for that. Like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, most deaf. And I also throw in there too, First Guy Omaha, the kind of services work that we do is trying to help people set up their whole situation. So if any of those candidates win and want to get down and try to get down with us on trying to help them put a show together like this or anything, we down to help.
Man, come to death row.
Come to death row. You're gonna have to write a check, but you're gonna have to, but you're gonna get what you get. I mean, because really there's no somebody needs to help folks out. There's no reason why you do not take social media channels and do something with it. If I was gonna run, I'd be all over everybody's social media channel all the time. So I don't know. I think a lot of the old school folks are satisfied with being like, well, I was on a debate on Channel 7, and so that and that's okay, cool, but everybody ain't watching that. and furthermore, you have an opportunity every single day, every hour of the day, to get your message out there on social media or come talk to folks that are doing some stuff or whatever. We had a lot of folks on the show, this season. So there's just kind of no excuse. And I love what you're talking about, buddy, because that's going to be necessary. We often talk about this show being kind of a digital neighborhood association and a weekly town hall, 3 times a week town hall, really. Because we were talking to people, we're talking to the community here. These folks can do the same thing in their job. Hopefully, we feel like they should be able to. Who knows what their personal situations are, but you should probably take advantage of that if you're trying to run for public office. That's all I'm thinking.
Man, big time.
Kethro in the chat. What's up, Kethro?
Hey,
shout out, man. Fella over there at Union for Contemporary Art and all around super talented, dope dude. I'm really proud of the work that you've been doing over there, Kethro. For real, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you getting up in the morning, coming through this morning too, man. Who are you voting for? That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah. Let us know.
Tomorrow's the primaries. What's going on? Have you made a decision? Let us know.
Who's it going to? As the one who really actually sat down and shook hands and got to interact with these candidates. What are some of the things that jumped out to you? I know one of the questions that you really made sure to ask was about the 100 officers in public safety, and a lot of people had some ideas about that, which is, of course, I know one of the top priorities for a lot of the candidates is public safety. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. First of all, the question that I love that we asked the most was, what is the job? Because you need to explain it to me like I'm a 5th grader. What is the job? I want to know what you do. Mayor's the boss. The mayor sets the budget. The mayor decides what's going to happen. And the city council people are supposed to kind of come from their districts and be like, this is what our district needs. And we need to kind of make sure that we're voting with our district in mind and so on. And if our district needs this money over here to do this, then we need to say that so that can be represented in the budget, so on and so forth. So a lot of people already had opinions about the budget. And of course, everybody who's paying any attention knows that our city budget has a huge chunk for the police.
Man.
Huge chunk of money. Grows every year. And so there, the first time I heard it in the mayoral race, as a matter of fact, the first time I heard that we're 100 police officers short. This is a narrative that I've been hearing all over the place our current mayor has been saying, our police chief has been saying, the police union says, everybody says 100 men to 120 men. I've heard as high as that. And that we're suffering because people are calling 911 and not getting people, and they're drawn from everywhere else because we don't have enough police officers and so on and so forth. I'm hearing a theme, especially in District 2, where people are like, there's enough money in the budget for the police. I don't want to draw any money back, but I want to put some of that money to mental health officers to go on calls with police and so on and so forth. I think we can figure some of that out. There were a couple of people though that was like, no, we're 100 police officers short. We need that money and we need to hire. But for the most part, I kept hearing that over and over again, especially in District 2, that they want some money to go to preventative. Everybody kept saying preventative. That's what encouraged me about the people running, is that people were saying we need to put some money to preventative measures, not just more police to be policing things. And not a lot of people were really down with that whole idea of detaining 9-year-olds and charging 12-year-olds as adults either. So they're just like, see the future, more police arresting more folks in jail, kids, and nothing being done on the front end to try to swerve some of the problems that we're having. We need front end help, preventative help. So that was kind of the biggest thing that I was understanding. I kind of was peeping out who was saying, yeah, we need 100 more cops, and who was saying we don't need no more cops. What we need is to have some preventative measures and some mental health professionals to go out on these calls instead of police. And so that was interesting to hear. It was kind of the majority of the story, especially in District 2.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to seeing I'm seeing what Kimra is saying as far as neighborhoods, and she says everybody who's talked about neighborhoods ain't really about neighborhoods.
Right.
And I am kind of feeling the same as far as the police, just wondering like who's really going to challenge that police stance.
Right.
Who's really going to challenge that police, and it's going to take a fight. It's definitely going to take a fight to redirect some funds. We see new helicopters, we see new tanks, we see where the funds are going as far as the budget and tax dollars. But as you said, everybody is talking about investing in mental health officers, but who's actually going to push that line? I'm very curious about, and to be honest, I don't know. Not sure right now.
For sure. Jumping to the chat real quick, Miss Cheryl Weston, who is running for District 2, is in the chat right now saying many people who were in District 1 and in District 2 now, because there was redistricting 4 years ago. Some of District 1 residents went to District 2, some of District 2 went to District 3. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah. Sean McCarthy in the chat also says Omaha police is like the U.S. defense budget. A cut is spending 8% more in a year instead of spending 10% more, but it's always more. Very true. Yeah. Michelle Moreno in the chat says, let me find out, Cheryl Weston, that I'm in District 2 because you have my vote. There you go. Endorsement right there in the chat. I want to know what decisions have you guys made? And also, Michelle, you're bringing up a great point too. Do you know what district you're in? Do you know? I have to check myself. I had to check myself because I'm in a certain part of what I consider North Omaha, which is Benson. What does that mean? So we definitely have to check that out, and also while we're at it, check out where your polling place is too, because that might have changed. So you might want to do a little research today on what's happening tomorrow. Mama Guy says everyone agreed trolley was not a good idea. Even candidate in other districts said it. That was another very common thing. Shout out Mama God for pointing that out, and also shout out to pointing out these people in other districts. We did talk to people in other districts as well. As a matter of fact, say again.
District 7.
Yeah, matter of fact, District 7 was kind of the one that stood out for me. Amy Melton and Tim Carter. If you haven't checked those out, if you live in District 7, first of all, you definitely should check those out. But check them out anyway, because I feel one thing I understand. We're paying attention to what's going on in our own personal districts.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple of the candidates brought up some great points. They're not just going to be voting on their district; they're voting on the city of Omaha. They're going to be one of 7 votes. So even if something is going on in District 2, somebody in District 7 might have to vote. So it's going to be important to find out where they stand. Tim Carter and Amy Melton definitely stand on 2 different platforms. They're definitely it's going to be an interesting battle because
Man.
of where they stand. They stand on seems like completely opposite sides. So and that's a very interesting one to me. While I'm at it and I'm here, there's a couple people that have not gotten back to me here in these other districts. District 6, Brinker Harding is one of them. Haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to Dan Rowe in District 5. District 4, Jonathan Flacco Rentier is the only person that got back to me and came and did a interview. We'll be showing his in the next today. And also, so Ron Hug. So these other folks that are in District 4 did not get back to me. Neither did Danny Begley in District 3. But I did talk to Michael Pilipaitis. So we got the runner, the person who's running against Danny Begley, who's the incumbent in District 3 that did an interview with us. We'll be dropping his shortly as well. So so the thing about these 2 people runs though, they're definitely going to make the primaries.
Mm-hmm.
So then there'll be a decision on whether or not we vote on them in the general. So it's really not too crucial because they're both going to be in there. But yeah, a couple of these races, I'm sitting here going, this is going to be really interesting in these other districts as well. And now I understand it ain't just about my district. It's about there's 7 people that are going to be making decisions for the whole city.
Yep.
And so we kind of got to know them collectively, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And Kimra's bringing in some more information. She says Dan Rose unopposed. He's cool though. I like him. Okay. And also Brinker Harding. It looks like he's unopposed as well. I believe we did hear back from I think District 1. A few people are sitting there in District 1. Pete Festerson.
We did hear from Pete Festerson, but we had some scheduling conflicts there. We got to move till after the primaries for him.
But those are coming.
Right.
There you go. Speaking of District 7, though, you said a few of the candidates, so a few of the information out of that race kind of jumped out to you. And I did want to comment on something that actually Tim Carter had to say that kind of hit home for me as an artist. And definitely going off what Sean McCarthy was saying. He says it's been nearly 5 years since the George Floyd tragedy when the call for mental health responders was put at the forefront. But 5 years later, it's difficult to see the progress, and not just mental health responders, but all areas of mental health. And I would say Tim Carter had a very interesting perspective as far as the connection between mental health and art. And he had mentioned that art was very impactful and very important to the mental health aspect. And again, acknowledge some of the work that, some of the art districts. Shout out to the Benson area that just got designated as an art district. And that definitely hit home. Some of the arts and entertainment things, it was close to my heart as part of the reason why I moved out of Omaha, to be honest, as far as just opportunities for artists, musicians, industry in these areas was lacking, about 4 or 5 years ago. And the idea of city council members seeing the importance of arts, entertainment, and not just the mental health aspect, but the financial aspect that can come from it. Tourism dollars, which of course you hear a lot from Omaha City Council. But yeah, definitely love to see more and more support for artists, arts, and entertainment.
Yeah. Mama Guy said Tim Carter really elaborated on the entertainment question. He really did.
Yeah.
Also, Tim Carter was the only one that really spoke about white supremacy and what's behind a lot of it.
Yeah, surprising.
Big time. By the way, he's running in a district that's I guess that's like where Elkhorn area is. He's kind of way out there. And as soon as he decided he was going to run, somebody set his lawn on fire and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not saying it was political, but anybody set my lawn on fire before I started running. Yeah. So interesting people in this race for real. And also before we get too far ahead of ourselves too, I just want to acknowledge everybody else has been doing the work that we've been doing as well, man. Shout out to Sherman Wells. He was on last night, and he was speaking last night, man, about the candidates and going through, and his whole show was because he wanted to say, hey, this is who we endorse. Untamed District 2 City Council endorsement. The whole reason why he did his Sunday sermon with Sherman yesterday, and he definitely shouted out Miss Cheryl Weston. And he definitely shouted out Bill King, and he definitely shouted out Mike Lee. I think it was, he had kind of like his first, second, and third pick. And they talked about it a lot, man. And I just thought to myself, even it's we're in a different time, bro, because people got shows, people have podcasts, and people have video shows and YouTube channels, and even the cats that are they're boots to the roots in the trenches, helping folks out in the community, like Brother Sherman Wells, dedicated a show to who we gonna vote for. We're in a different time. People are talking about voting like I've never seen before, and being a part of the process. I came across another show yesterday called The Show. I think Wesley Williams was live, and I had never seen this before, or heard of him, or heard of this show. But we had some. He was on there talking about this as well, kind of recapping, man.
Brother Stephen Abraham.
Brother Stephen Abraham as a guest on here, who has been a chat chimer as well. And he took the time to break down who, everybody, all the mayoral candidates, even Stothard, even brought out some facts on Stothard that I hadn't heard before. So they took the time to go through everybody who is running, and so that you can be informed. They informing their audience so that they can really kind of make some decisions as well. So we're seeing some unprecedented stuff happening, and it's very encouraging to me that everybody has been really trying to get down. So I appreciate everybody that's on, that's on doing that work. Shout out to Kimber Snipes, who's been doing the research, knows these people by personally, shakes these people's hand, argues with these folks. She was the first person I called when I was like, hey, I can't get a hold of some of these folks. Can you help me out? And she hooked me up to help me out. And it's because she has made them connections for many a time. And I can't wait till you run for something again, because it's got to go down, because you do too much work in this community. So shout out to Kimber Snipes on the work that she does as well. And I appreciate it.
Right now, school board. So,
School board.
Hold it down.
Holding it down in the school board. 7:46 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we'll just take a quick break and jump in and wrap this conversation up already. It's kind of went fast. Went really fast. But still, we're here talking about primaries that are coming up tomorrow. And primaries are very important. If you're ready to go, you made your decision, cool. If you got some things you want to try to work out here in the last 15 minutes, some conversation you need to have, questions you want to ask about the candidates from our perspective, we'd definitely be happy to answer those and help you come to a decision tomorrow, because that's what it's all about. Today is the last day that you can go early vote at the election office. After that, it's time to hit your polling place on April the 1st and get down on the primary elections. Got big decisions to make, especially in District 2. So let's talk about it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be buddy to God.
Lead poisoning in children under 7 is scary, but it's also 100% preventable. Not only can lead be found in paint and soil, it can be found in many common spices, certain baby foods, and brought home from job sites. Children with lead poisoning might not show any symptoms until their levels are dangerously high. So ask your healthcare provider for a lead test for your child. You can help prevent lead poisoning in children. Brought to you by Douglas County.
Shout out to the Douglas County Health Department. I just saw on there, there can be lead in my turmeric. I'm going to find out where I get my turmeric from. That's wild.
Got to be careful.
Got to be careful, especially in our area, because we are a super fun site. So that means that on top of all the stuff that you can get lead into in your food, and the whole rest of the city can get, we also are very we're also the people in our district that got it in our yards and got it in old paint from old buildings and stuff like that too. So like
Man,
we got to be extra diligent when it comes to that, and it's a huge thing. So shout out,
yeah. Remember the dust on grandma's windowsill?
man. That sure is lead, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It just unlocked the memory, huh?
It was a while back in the man. Yeah, because growing up in the north side, everybody on the north side got a really old house.
Yeah, man.
From the 1900s and 1910s.
Yeah, man.
The asbestos and lead and all kind of stuff. They built
All that.
anything.
All that.
Built it with anything.
Yeah.
Shout out to them for that, man. Appreciate it. Anthony Rogers right in the chat. He's also somebody running for District 2. Like I said, he's been we got an interview with him. You should definitely check that out on YouTube. He says Tim Carter's a good man, one of a few candidates standing up for Palestine, and who showed up to speak about it along with Rentiera and Jasmine. Okay. Appreciate the info. Mama Guy said we need her on school board since in jeopardy. I agree. I feel much better with Kimber Snipes on the school board in a big way, and Brianna Full too. Like we got some folks up there, so I can't wait to catch up with them next season. Really, and kind of really understand what's going on there, and dig deep and see if some things will change up there. Mark Manner in the chat says, my question is, what is the best choice to make sure we have a choice in the general that isn't Stothard and Mike McLucky Charms? You don't like McDonald.
Yeah. I mean, you got Jasmine Harris, you got Brother John Ewing, you got Dr. Terry Brewer. I mean, those are your three other choices.
Right.
As far as what is the best choice, gotta make that decision for yourself. We had a conversation with Sister Jasmine Harris. I was, fairly impressed with her, but I still haven't heard anything from, Brother John Ewing, and I would like to hear something from him. And don't know anything about Dr. Terry Brewer. So, yeah.
We talked to Brother Ewing several times, so it's just a scheduling thing for us to get him on to talk to him, for sure. But yeah, he's been kind of I feel like he's a very strong. There's a lot of people endorsing him. He's been in public service for a really, really long time. I got to go to one of his talks, and I asked him. He was one of the people that was saying we're 100 police officers short. This first time I heard it was at one of his talks. And very next thing out of his mouth, though, was that he was opposing this bill they're trying to make where they detaining 9-year-olds and trying to try 12-year-olds as adults. So I got to ask him the question, like, how do you reconcile we need 100 more cops, but you don't want kids in jail? And he had a very thoughtful answer. He really broke down, the we need to do more community policing. We need to have more town halls with the police department. We need to build a different kind of relationship with the police department so that this can work. And he also mentioned, mental health mental health officers as well, kind of going on calls. So really thoughtful stuff that he was saying. He's definitely he's definitely got the wisdom. And a lot of people are kind of really saying a bunch of real messed up stuff about our elders. I understand we're frustrated about our elders, but you know how we feel about, not showing respect to them. Even if I do feel like they need to step away so that some younger folks can come in, I feel like not burning the bridge with them means that they may be able to help these younger folks with some advice. If we can team up with our elderly brothers and sisters that got some wisdom, then we'll be doing well. We'll be doing well. And I think of Brother Ewing like that too. Like he's one of the elders that knows some things and has some good things to say. But I've been super impressed with Jasmine Harris. Every time we see a mayoral debate, she seems like the adult in the room,
man.
And we've been talking to her, and she's been a friend of the show and stuff for a really, really long time, even before this race. And so we know where she stands on stuff. And yeah, does she have the numbers? Does she have the people? My concern is what you're saying, brother Manor. Same thing. Like it's been the Stothard and Mike McLucky Charm show.
Yeah, and I mean it's the same too.
What's his real name? I keep on now. I'm going to be
McLucky Charms. It's McDonald.
Oh, that's
Mike
right.
McDonald. Yeah. Mike McDonald.
So Mike McDonald and Gene Stothard have raised the most money. They're the most visible in the race.
That was my point.
Right.
Still willing down to the money.
So people are starting to get nervous about that too, because tomorrow, that people may feel like the vote is split. Some people gonna vote for Jasmine. Some people gonna vote for
Yeah.
or rather Ewing. If anybody will be able to battle McDonald, then it will need to be one person maybe out of the other three that's running. Who can that be? This is what we're here for, to talk about this. What say
Yeah.
you in 5 minutes?
Right. A few people saying Jasmine's got their vote. Okay. Based on where I feel like Mr. McDonald stands and some of the comments that he's made against women, particularly the whole DEI hire comment. I would love to see him go head to head against Sister Jasmine. Like to see him go head to head with a black woman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In the debate, she'd be holding her own out there with
exactly. I would love to see the rights get read. But few people throwing Ewing in. I did see earlier. Someone said Blue Dot endorsed Brother Ewing, so there is that as well. I did want to comment before we get out of here on what you're mentioning as far as the age situation, because that was a big topic of conversation. We didn't necessarily ask this directly in our interviews, but there was a lot of conversation about ageism, and especially in District 2, whether we should go against go for our younger candidates, the Maurice Jones, Mike Lees of the world, or should we rely, should Ben Gray or Sister Cheryl Weston get a chance. And I was surprised to hear what I heard from Brother Ben Gray, hear that he is planning on working on, I believe he said, alongside the Empowerment Network, on developing some kind of program, some kind of educational thing to get our young people prepared to run for office moving forward. And that is something that I appreciate it. We talk about succession planning. A sign of good leadership is somebody who's planning to replace themselves. And whether or not you feel like Brother Ben Gray has got things done over the last 12 years, he is still a library of institutional wisdom as far as city council goes. So I hopefully, my hope is that we see a mixture, because Cheryl Weston, Brother Ben Gray, they have the wisdom. Cheryl, as we all know, Sister Cheryl Weston has been pounding the pavement, boots to the roots for a while. But I don't want to disrespect, like Brother Maurice Jones. He jumped out to me with the nightmare idea. I love that idea. As far as again, enhancing the economy of the nightlife in Omaha, which I think is a missed opportunity in the city of Omaha to make more money and to elevate the nightlife of the area. There's a lot of commerce that can be exchanged in the third shift, if you will. So. But again, would love to see, hopefully there's some cross intersection between the generations. A few people have mentioned that, regardless of who wins, hopefully there is some idea sharing between the candidates, because a lot of good ideas are coming out of this, and just kind of enforces, my statement that we all we got, but that's enough, man. There's a lot of good ideas that can push the city forward out there coming out of District 2. And hopefully we see some of those things come to fruition.
Big time. Appreciate everybody who's jumping in right now and on this conversation. Again, if you have not made your decision yet, this is the day to kind of go through it and talk about it. This is the day before the primaries. This is the 31st, meaning that this is the last day of early voting at the election office. I'm hoping that a lot of people from the Black community, especially because a lot of Black folks I know work jobs where they are off on Mondays. It may be the time that you got to go in and take it in early and do your early voting today at the election office. If not, like Mark Manor, show up to the battleground on the day of primary day. Polls open at 8:00. Definitely find out where your polling place is. It might have changed from last time.
Yeah.
So definitely do that research today and make sure. And then check out the videos. I would definitely say, especially for District 2, because there's a lot of contemplation that has to happen in District 2 because of so many people running. I would definitely say check that out. Be looking for Tyrone Uri's video. We're going to try to get him and get that out as soon as possible today too. This is kind of our priority today, because we wanted to give him some time as well. Just so happened that we weren't able to contact him, and but we still want to give him some time, just like we gave everybody else some time. So consider him as well, and go through these videos and get to know. And also shout out to the voter guide that Flatwater Free Press put out. They got a lot of good information too in that about the candidates and so on. But you can really get to know him like in our style by checking out the video on YouTube. And while you're there, please like and subscribe there as well. So that's more stuff we're going to be doing. Lavelle Wells in the chat. What's up, brother Wells? He said this evening, come out to the Village Building at Home for Boys on 52nd for a chat about cancer at 5.
Man, okay.
Yeah, please put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha if you got any flyers or anything with that. I really appreciate that.
And peace to you, bro. Peace.
Peace. Stacy McLean Honeycutt in the chat.
Hey,
you've been getting down. You need to extend them breakfast past 9:30 though. I'll be trying to get down there and give me some of them shrimp and grits, and I'm like, man. It's like on Saturday, I didn't wake up till 10:30. They was already done.
Man, packing it up.
Packing it up. Appreciate that. Also, RG in the chat says, since I bought the crib a few years ago and moved up here, the folks at the Masonic Lodge know my face. Back in November, I wanted to say they even had a DJ outside. Okay.
Yeah, he says some get down going on there a little later on.
That's what's up. Appreciate that. Miss Cheryl Weston is saying what we're saying. People get out and vote. Our power is in the vote. We do a lot of talking, but no action. District 2, let's do it. Vote.
There you go.
Appreciate
wraps up the whole show.
It really does. And I appreciate that it is 8:00. If you believe in the concept of time, we are going to get out of here. I'm glad that we got the juices flowing here on this conversation and these ideas, because you're going to have to spend the rest of the day kind of figuring it out and making the decisions that you need to make. Get solid, get some more information, dig into the videos, get to know the candidates, and make your decision by tomorrow, April 1st. Primaries, man. I think this is the most action I've seen in a primary election in a little minute. Most conversations that we've had here, and it's going to be big. It's going to be especially big for District 2 to go from 9 candidates to the one that's going to battle Juanita Johnson. So Councilwoman Juanita Johnson, put some respect on her name. So shout out to everybody who's participating and being a part of this. And shout out to everybody who has voiced their opinions. Really appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah. Again, appreciate the feedback. Appreciate everybody coming in today and, voicing their concerns and having questions and just, checking in with us. We appreciate the support, the love as always. Just moving forward. Got some other things in the works. This year has definitely been off to a good start for us here at First Sky Omaha. So, can't wait to see what we have coming up next for you all once this whole election cycle is over with. I'll be honest, we've been dealing with these interviews for a couple of weeks now, and definitely looking forward to the finish line of all of this. It has been fun, but it's about time for on to the next, man. So I appreciate all of y'all, your support. We love you. We thank you. We do it for you and are happy to do so, man. So until next time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
Shout out to Sherman L. Wells in the chat, man. Appreciate all the work that you've been doing too, bro. He said, let's vote. Non-biased, but based on what's best for District 2, not paid, not family, but the betterment of the community.
There you go.
Appreciate you very much, man. That's what's up. Pop says, thanks for starting the week off right. Appreciate you, Pops. Appreciate everybody that joined us today, and good luck to all the candidates. Good luck to your good luck. Love to hear about your run after it's over, and we'll definitely be talking to you about that as time goes on. But get out there, do what you got to do. Especially tomorrow, April 1st. Man, make it happen. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you and have this last little conversation before it's time to make some decisions. And hopefully we can position ourselves like that in the future on some other things too. Have a discussion and then time for some action.
Hey, time for some action.
That's right. That's what's going on. What we're doing here. Shout out. We'll see you Wednesday. We'll have a special guest on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that too. Definitely go to YouTube and do us a favor, like and subscribe over there and check out all of the candidates as much as you can today to make an informed decision. With that, we're out of here. We'll see you Wednesday. Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means